Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for joining me and welcome back to the first in a very short series of more classic Matchbox kits. The ones that got away, the ones that perhaps we haven't got round to, we've missed, etc. And I thought we'd start off with a real blockbuster, the Heinkel He111H, famous of course from the Spanish Civil War and the Battle of Britain, as well as of course used extensively on the Eastern Front. An aircraft that really needs no introduction. In fact, you can almost hear the Battle of Britain movie music, you know, the Eagle theme playing in the background, you know the one I mean. Anyway, let's have a look at it. So, we actually have, I've talked a few times in my videos about different iterations of the boxes. So we have here the real McCoy. So it's a 1975 original issue, which is the first time this came out. It's the Red Range. They were obviously the three colour kits, like the orange. I don't know why orange and red had the three colours, but this one's a little bit battered, I have to be honest, but I'll talk about that more in a minute. But it's typical of Matchbox. It's got their other adverts on the side. So we've got the Heinkel, another Heinkel 115, the PK-401 seaplane, which looks quite nice, I've got to say. I never had that one. And then we've got the Wellington, the Mark 10 Wellington PK-402, which we've already reviewed when we did the Taylor 2 Wellingtons. On the back, well, first of all, on the side, I should say, we've got this typical artwork which shows the kit completed if you don't paint it. And this one thing I did like about this was the colour choices were a bit wiser perhaps than some others, although why they didn't make the wings green instead of light brown, I don't know, but the dark brown and the light blue seem to be, yeah, quite apt really. And then on the rear, it's the first issue, as I say, from 1975, which it says here. And we have three choices instead of two, which is what you normally get with the orange range and below. So we've got the Legion Condor, Luftwaffe 2 at Lille in 1940. So these are the guys that have come back from the Spanish Civil War to fight the Battle of Britain against the RAF. Then we've got the Edelweiss Geschwader from the Eastern Front in 1943, so that's 3 years later. And also we've got another Romanian, a bit like they did the BF-109E, and a Romanian option. Now, just going back to talking about the box before we get into it, I just thought it was worth pointing out that it's another one of these, especially with the Red Range, and they brought them out. The Red Range came out about 75. I think they all came out in 75, the original releases. So there was this and the ones on the side and the Phantom and all that others. And then they sort of revamped the boxes in 1977, 2 years later, and this is the revamped version. So you can see very, very clearly if we put them together what the differences are. Again, it's this thing where I don't like what they did, I've got to be honest. It makes it perhaps a little clearer, but I just think you lose something in the artwork. So they have this whited out area where they take away some of the artwork. In fairness, this particular kit's artwork suffers a bit less than some of the others, like the Mitchell. I thought they ruined that one, but this one's not too bad, you know, it's only that little bit, and there's not much going on in there anyway. However, on the ends you also get a difference. You can see that we now, instead of having the artwork repeated, we have this sort of separate artwork where it shows a slightly cartoonish looking version of the aircraft, and this is not done by Roy Oxley, which is obvious because it isn't that great. Other things are basically the same. They haven't changed oh sorry, yes they have. Okay, I'm wrong. They dropped the advert on the side and they put more of this cartoonish artwork, which I really hate, to be honest. And they all look a bit cartoonish, not just this particular one. The other kits do as well, so I wasn't very keen on that. In other respects it's the same, so I think for the purposes of the review I think we'll stick with the original if it's in good nick, and we'll review that as I open the box. If bits are off the sprue then we can look elsewhere. Let's have a dig into it properly. So here we go. What have we got? Let's bring out a little bit more. There we go. Now then, this is the genuine original, and there's quite a lot off the sprue here actually, so I think we'll just put that to one side. Yeah, we've got a lot off the sprue. Got a nice big Matchbox stand. Let's see if the one's in better nick. I think it is. The condition is better. Yeah, it's in much better condition, so I think we'll review the second one. and we'll just pop that as artwork in the background for you to enjoy as we talk. And this obviously is a little bit later. Judging by its condition, I'd say this is maybe made in 77, but I've got a feeling that or rather printed from the 77 data, and I've got a feeling it's later. I think it might be a 78, 79 at least. But they didn't print them out year every year, update every year. You can tell it's a bit of a later version. Just look at the way that they've gone to a rather strange purple. It's interesting. Let us compare the two. So we have a purple, which shouldn't be because it's the red range, so that should be red. So this one over here has got the original, absolutely first issue type instructions. It's actually pink, isn't it? It's not even purple. Pink. I think we'll look at this one because it looks a bit nicer. I wonder if they're laid out the same, are they? No. Yes, no. No, they're different. Okay, let's look at the two differences then. So with this one you unfold it and we get the tips for all the small parts on the other side. This one unfolds in the opposite direction. Isn't as nicely printed, it has to be said, as well as the colour. And that has the same data down here. And then and then they both, I think, that is so pink. I can't believe that. It's making my eyes hurt. We'll get rid of that. We'll stick with the red one, I think. Okay, so all your colour call-outs are here. Tells you how to build your stand. All your call-outs are in Heinkel, of course. And as I say, we've got telling you how to paint your pilot and all the little parts like the guns, the spinners, props, undercarriage, etc. And some of the interior. Got you painting that and the exhaust and the legs for the undercarriage. Whoops! Lost something important. Hang on a second. Decals. Now then, what sort of condition are these in? How do they compare? More to the point. So of interest. They're a bit ancient now, so we'll leave those there, I think. We'll look at this one because they're basically the same. They're quite nice. These are actually in very good condition, I'd say. Premium. I'm a little bit of trouble with my zoom today. It's not zooming smoothly or quickly. Anyway. But yeah, that looks absolutely perfect. They are mint, quite frankly. They'll go on a tree, no problem at all. So you've got your swastikas, something that all these manufacturers today refuse to do, which I find very stupid. I understand the reasons. Well, I partially understand the reasons. I think it's completely OTT. They should at least give you the ability to make up the swastika, to make it look genuine, as per the aircrafted. In the day, it wore a swastika, rightly or wrongly. We don't agree with the politics of it, but that doesn't mean we airbrush it out. That's cancel culture again. Anyway, we won't get into that. They're very nice. They're Romanian markings are quite colourful, aren't they? They're quite nice. The German one's fairly basic, but the Legion Condor, I don't know if you can make this out, the Legion Condor markings are especially good with the Condor dropping a bomb. You see that? It's very cool. Very nice there, so I'll put that with that one. Try not to mix them up these, otherwise I'll have a Frankenstein kit. Alright, let's have a proper look at it then. So, I think if I fold it might be easier rather than trying to hold it with an enormous sheet. It is big. So then, you've got your bomb aimer, the guy lying down, looks like he's having a snooze and doing press-ups. Pilot obviously goes in with his control yoke. Then you've got your mid-gunner in his little rotating sort of cupola. And it does rotate, which is cool. Then you're basically bringing that in, and the windows, the central windows with the side guns as well. That comes in here, and we then attach the two fuselage halves together, plus your little crew at the front. So here we've got a crew of 1, 2, 3, but actually they had, I think, 5. I'm sure you may correct me if you know more than the Heinkel one. I think it was 5 crew normally, because you had 2 gunners either side here, so you'd have 1 on each side, him and the 2 at the front. Then we've got the famous sort of greenhouse glass dome at the front to make up. A little bit of masking be needed, I think. You might want to get yourself a mask set. I suspect that won't be a problem. I think you can probably get them from Edouard. Then you build up your tailplanes and your rudders all coming together. get those in. And by the way, I mentioned the glass. I didn't mention the little machine gun, of course. Again, infamous in the Battle of Britain movie. The guy who's the forward gunner, he doesn't have a good time, does he? To be honest. But anyway, on the other side, we come to building up your engine, and your spinner and your prop. Exhaust going on. Putting in your little rotating flange, your washer at the back to make sure you can spin your props. Then we're on to the main gear. And then you bring in all the sort of wings in. They're very simple, top and bottom wing. There's nothing fancy about them. There's no flaps or ailerons moving, sadly. And then you've got your little dome cover for your top gunner. And then finally, you've got the bottom gunner. Now, you see, I may be wrong again. There's a bottom gunner, isn't there? I forgot. Is that 6 crew then? Or is it 7? I thought there was a pilot and a co-pilot. I think there might be 7 or even 8. I should have looked it up, I'm sorry. I'm sure some of those of you watching this will know better than I. But there's clearly, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 men that should be sort of depicted if they were going to have them all here, minimum. I think it's 8, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys, you probably know better than me. I'm sure some of you have researched this better than I have. There's at least 6 anyway, it's between 6 and 8 I'm sure. Then you've got your rear retracting tail wheel, and you put your covers over if you decide to have it all with the gear up, and you can put it on the stand of course, because Matchbox do provide a beautiful stand, which of course most of the manufacturers do not do. And that's it anyway, that's your lot. You've got your gear going in and your intakes, and that's kind of the build. It's very, very straightforward. Quite a simple build for the type of kit it is. Perhaps a bit too simple perhaps. But I do like the instructions. I kind of do love them in the red, you know, it just gives it the character it deserves really. So, we'll put that there. I think we're going to have to move the box, otherwise it's going to cause us problems. Put it over there. Okay. We mentioned the stand. Yeah, needs no introduction, but look how big it is. It's a big old stand because it's a big plane. It's got to take the weight. I recently reviewed the Airfix Buccaneer, which is a new kit and was absolutely gorgeous, but it didn't have a stand in it. Now, 72nd scale, why not? It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's just crazy, but anyway. Here we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues, of which one is the clear. I think we'll start with that, in fact. If that's okay with you. So here we go, and on this particular one, unlike the other slightly older kit I just showed you at the beginning, this actually does have everything on its sprue, and I think I need to move those because otherwise it's going to get in the way. There we go. Now then, it's quite nice, isn't it? A little bit yellowed I think with age perhaps, but more on one side than the other. But that's really solid sprue. Everything's on the sprue where it should be. A few faint scratches here and there, but that's a bit scratched because it sort of sticks up. I think it's been caught by the plastic underneath. That would want a bit of a polish, this one, for sure. You can probably see it, can't you? Side windows, and then your window for your lower gun and your front gun here. And all your greenhouse glass work, shall we say, dome at the front. But it's nice actually, it looks fairly scale-like. That's better than I expected it to be, if I'm honest. Looking at the instructions I thought it was going to be really, really basic, but that's quite nicely done. Then we have got the coloured stuff. Now, oh, and I've just pulled it off the sprue. That was really clumsy of me. That just literally fell off. That couldn't have been attached very well because it just dropped off. You probably missed a bit of that out of camera shot, but it just literally dropped off the sprue as I tried to pick it up. Let's have a look at it then. So this is the side of the fuse, and it's all recessed panel lines, which is very, very good. Not like some of the Matchbox kits we've been looking at recently, so that's nice. A little bit soft, you know, the big wide gaps, shall we say, or wide panel lines. So that's a bit odd, but careful with this now. It's not as solid as I thought it was. There's the other side, same again. And we've got the undercarriage, and we've got several of our guns here, machine guns. MG34, I think they are, or is it 31s? 34, I think. You've got your tailplane, sorry, that's the rudder. props here, and obviously your tyres and also your rear tail wheel. So I'm going to gently put that over there so we don't do any more damage to it and let it drop off. Then we have got the beautiful underside, which is a lovely sort of a French blue. Very nice. Cool colour. This is a bit more solid, this one, so I think it'll be alright this time. Yeah, you get your underside with your nacelles. Again, very softly moulded, but at least it's all recessed panel lines again. No raised on it whatsoever. Showing the elevator. Is that the elevator or is that the rudder? That's the tailplane, in fact, isn't it? Yeah, it's the tailplane. There's two blocks, so that's the underside of it. Looks really nice though. Very, very well sort of sculpted with the hinges where it pivots. You can see that, nice and clear. Then you've got your engine nacelles, or cowlings I should say. You've got your gear doors. And that's it really, that's very nice. And then finally, gotta handle this carefully, don't want any more dropping off. We've got the top wing this time, so it's the top wings, recessed panel lines again, and sort of a replay in a way, just very similar those two sprues if we're honest. Just the top looks almost identical to the bottom. Obviously the wings are a little bit different, but these tailplanes look very similar, to be honest. Looks like a mirror image. Right down to the trim, it looks identical. How strange. Then you've got your little your cupola, spinning cupola here for your gunner, top gunner, and you've got various bits. Another gun there, exhaust stubs. You've got your two pilots here, and they don't look too bad. And there should be a guy. Where's the guy that's lying down? Did we see him? Or we missed him? Oh, we missed him. Yes. Hang on a second. I completely missed that. Wasn't paying attention. We've got the guy lying down on the brown sprue. Here he is. Yeah. Can you see him? So he's actually the gunner. There he is. There he is. Gunner. That's quite nicely done. Very cool. And back to the brown. It's yeah, and we got there's two spinners for the prop. That's kind of it really. And your gear here, your legs, gear legs. They look a bit spindly, I've got to be honest. Not sure how strong they are. That's kind of it really. So what do we think? I think for me it's a little bit disappointing in some respects. Forget the fact that I had a bit drop off, that was kind of my fault, maybe I was a bit heavy handed. It was obviously very, very fragile. It's just a bit lacking in fine detail, and I think the softness of it, which we're used to on Matchbox, but kind of hurts it a bit because it's quite a big plane this, and I think when it's a bigger aircraft, a bomber, you're kind of hoping for a little bit more. I mean, it's all there, it looks accurate enough. But again here, you know, you've got these windows underneath, and if you look carefully, you know, they're so sort of faintly moulded. I'm really struggling with the focus today. Yeah, they're so sort of faintly moulded here. It's a bit lacking. They could have made it a bit sharper there, I think, or better still, had it as a clear window, like they did up here. But I guess that there was, you know, cost constraints, etc. And back in Matchbox's day, that was very much a driver, I think, in the mid-70s. Anyway, overall, I think I shouldn't be too grumpy about it. It's got nice decals, it's got a nice stand, it's got lots of things going for it. It's got absolutely brilliant artwork, and I didn't actually read it out. It says on the 5th of September 1940, so this is the last big push week or 10 days of the Battle of Britain. It says Heinkel 111s of KG-53 Legion Condor, forming part of a combined force of 68 DO Dornier 17s and Heinkel 111s attacked the oil tanks at Thames Haven, inflicting considerable damage to this vital installation. And they were very successful in this particular raid because it says that only 3 of them failed to return. I'm really struggling with my focus here. Can you see that? There's the oil refinery burning in the background. So it's got some cracking, really top-notch It's almost like a painting, that, to be fair. It's one of these really, really nice artworks. I think it's Roy Huxley. No, it's a guy called Post. He actually did it before Roy Huxley took over. Some of Post's, I don't know his Christian name unfortunately, but some of his artworks are a bit naff, but one or two of them are really nice. And I sometimes mix them up. Some of you may have noticed that. Sorry if I have. Anyway, there we go. Thought we'd get back into one or two of the Matchbox with something really nice. So that's Heinkel 111. You can pick these up on eBay now for around about £30, decent one. But just be wary that there is one or two design issues with the sprue. It's interesting that you saw me accidentally break off that fuselage side. Well, look at this one. They both broke off from the original version that come out of that box. So it is quite delicate, so just be aware. Don't be too shocked if you find that you can't get one that hasn't got one or two bits broken off the sprue, because I think it was a kind of a weak design, the sprue. The sprue attachment points are very fine, which is good in one way because you don't get a horrible big mark, but you might find they're off it. Anyway, there we go. So, PK-403, that's the Heinkel 111H. Hope you found that interesting. I hope it brought back some memories. Please stay tuned because we'll be having a few more of these, just a handful. One or two of the ones that we've missed out on previously that you may also recall from days gone by. So, please, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, very importantly, ding the notification bell because you'll get a notification as soon as it gets uploaded, or if there's going to be a premiere, you'll be able to see in advance and be ready and waiting. And in the meantime, thanks very much for joining me. Great to have your company, and hope to see you again very soon. In the meantime, thanks a lot and bye for now.